2 weeks ago today, we entered the point of no return on my house when we demolished the whole of the front of it. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but 3 builders and my mate Gabe, who's great with the camera and labouring, managed to turn my beautiful house into a pile of bricks. So it's safe to say there is no turning back now. There is no covering up the problems of the house with a landlord special and the liquor paint. All the cards are on the table. So let's play poker. I'm hoping for a full house.
It's fair to say I dug myself into a hole. And now, the only way out was to keep on digging.
So, Monday morning, back on the job. Priority this week is finish off the foundations. I've hit a little snag. We've hit a vein of dark clay.
The vein of dark clay was bad news. You can't build on it, so the lads had to just keep digging until we were past it, which added a significant amount of extra digging. A relatively minor delay in the grand scheme of things, but too many of these issues could spell disaster for this job.
So you can see behind me, the footings are about 75% dug out, it's just this last corner. And the problem with this last corner is the gas mains are there. This side is going to be a lot of me and Luke digging it out by hand.
It's really important we got these trenches right. Once they're deep enough, we're going to fill them with a load of concrete and they're going to form the foundation of the entire house to sit on. No pressure, lads.
Yeah, so we're going to tap some 12mm rebar in the bottom of the trench down to get the level of the concrete. They're just basically level markers, the concrete when we pour the concrete into the footing.
With the trenches dug and the rebar in, we were ready for concrete, and attention can move to the Davidsons' latest signing.
Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team.
Been promoted.
Here's one of the boys. Look at it.
Gabe was over the moon. Not only had they given him a new t-shirt, they'd also given him a new pair of work trousers, so he didn't need to wear those little short shorts anymore. But there wasn't much time for celebration because the concrete van soon arrived.
Sure know what we're doing.
Put up in the pump, I've set it up, and then we're going to pump it in.
When you put it like that, what could possibly go wrong?
Oh yeah, that's just
So, footings are in, finally. Been a bit of a task, but say levy, 9.2 cube. So now we'll give it a day or so just to go off before we start laying on it.
What do you reckon today is going to be like?
today is going to be a very, very hard workout for your hands, Gabe. Right now, off and make my coffee.
For weeks I struggled to make the perfect coffee. The builders were never happy with it. Every time they would spit it out and say that I'm useless and good for nothing. I tried everything. More coffee, more sugar, more milk. None of it worked until one day I tried something different. I never told the builders what my secret was, but ever since then they've loved it every single time.
Bang on. Made a good cuppa nowadays, mate.
Boys, what's the score today?
Score today is, my friend, 6 packs of bricks. They're going to get dropped off on the drive, straight through the garage, straight onto the conveyor belts, down into the gabions. Busy day today.
Or at least it would be, if the boys had actually remembered the drill to unscrew the door to get through the garage.
We'll have to break it. Hello, there in a minute. Yeah.
So I only did that because these two doofuses forgot they can drill.
Fortunately, not being able to get the bricks through the garage wouldn't hold the boys back for long, as we'd already got a load of bricks down the garden last week, so they cracked on with that. Brandon tried a shortcut he saw on Instagram.
All these bricks are going to be in them gabions.
Sadly, it's not that easy, Brandon, but I can make it look easier for the viewers by speeding it up by 10,000.
Alan and John have shown up. We've gotten 2.5 of the gabions done, and now Alan and John are here to get the rest of the bricks down to the bottom.
Filling these gabions was no small task. We're talking hours of work for 5 men. Once filled though, they are extremely heavy, which is exactly what we needed them to be, to provide the support needed to hold up the rest of the garden behind them and form a terrace at the bottom of the garden. The lads moved a serious amount of bricks. I'm not sure how many, but fortunately we have a top investigative journalist on site to get to the bottom of it.
Can you say how many you reckon we got? How many bricks you reckon we shipped today? 4,000, 5,000?
Oh, what? Bricks. 4,000 bricks today.
But unfortunately for the editor, i.e. me, Gabe's journalism doesn't stop there.
The week's half done.
I mean, he's absolutely begging me for more screen time, and I'd love to, but all he's giving me here is 15 minutes of talking about cement.
Whole bag of sand. So it'll be a lot of sand.
Eventually, he moved on from cement, but the dribble doesn't stop there.
My granddad was a painter, and then went on to work in printing.
Listen, I'll save you guys a lot of time. Gabe's mixing cement tomorrow.
And let's see if I can't make a good mix. All right, catch us tomorrow.
Yeah.
According to that drawing, that's bang on.
We've got this diagram here, right? And we're all just hoping that it's right.
It looks like a diagram for toddlers.
It does look a little bit like that, doesn't it? And like
We are.
we're laying out this entire thing based on this being right. So we've laid the concrete foundations. We've got all our blocks laid out, and we're starting to think about blocking up. I don't know what's going on, but there's just a bit of a stinky vibe today. What's going on, Luke?
Flames getting chucked everywhere, mate. Eat comments between each other. Throwing tools.
You have like a little side note confession to camera.
A side note confession. No, Alan's awful. He steals our shit. Here's the magpie.
Who is stealing all the stuff?
I've got my suspicions, mate.
Because Brandon says it's all Alan, and Alan's the problem.
But Al says it's John, and then John says it's Brandon. The only one that's not actually seeing anything is me, so I'm keeping out of it, mate. So each corner will be set with the laser level the exact height that we need. So we know that is the same level as that, that's the same level as that, and then that is the same level as that. So they're all at the right level, so as long as you follow your line with your string line, all the way around will be perfectly level and flat. 1, 2.
Goes down like moose.
Just like moose, baby.
100 quid. No, I'll have to pass.
Perfecto.
Hey, come a little bit closer to the camera and say what's happened.
I can't even talk about it. It's too soon. In an attempt to save money, we started the gabions on the back. From one pretty quick conversation, we made a decision to start filling back here. And we had this lovely line of gabions, without necessarily thinking how much soil it was going to take to backfill this and how we were going to get that done. We then had a great idea today. We're going to just build this up with timber. But unfortunately, that makes these gabions redundant. So there's actually no point having them there. So we're going to do gabions here to retain this bit and have a nice flat bit here. And we've already got the bricks down. I suppose that's the silver lining. But for me, it's quite demoralising because that's quite a lot of money gone on nothing. And for the lads who've just spent a week shifting 6,000 bricks, probably more, and digging out, that's got to be pretty demoralising as well.
Yeah. Oh well. Looks nicer.
Does it?
Oh, anyone want to go to Nibbles?
I'm not nibbling today, mate.
One of the Nibbles.
Yeah, for well. Yeah, I mean.
Depression sandwich.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Are you holding that straight? For a $5, you can get the best chicken chow mein outside of Shanghai. It's my favorite restaurant in the world.
Fueled up by their Michelin-starred lunch, the lads split off into teams, managing to avoid their family members, with Luke moving away from his dad to work with Alan on the right, and Brandon splitting away from his father-in-law, Alan, to work with John. I wonder if you can have too much of a good thing.
Do you have Brandon over for dinner tonight?
Yeah,
How are you feeling about that?
fantastic.
Oh, good, babe. Thank you. How are you?
The left team opted for a method in which both lads worked separately, cutting and laying block work from either end and working into the middle. The right team worked cooperatively, with Luke buttering the bricks for Alan to lay. In the end, the left team won. But the unsung hero here was Gabe, who learned to mix cement and seems to be experimenting with it as a form of sun cream.
So they say you got to be happy with your station in life, and I'm happy with this one. I don't mind the cement mixer one bit.
Although Gabe's skills in the mixer weren't always appreciated by the builders.
Whoa. Go on. Right. That's soup. What the main course, not the hors d'oeuvre.
By soup, John's saying the cement was way too sloppy. Gabe started again and got it right this time, so the lads could start building the front of the house up.
Hey, listen, get in the van for 1 second. Now listen, this is serious. So who leaves the van in this state?
Without saying any names, it's always Alan.
What?
And who gets in messy?
Them block. Right. Before I went on holiday, this van was spotless.
Luckily, we have our on-site journalist to get to the bottom of this very, very riveting story.
Alan might not be quite the saint that he claims to be. See, I've heard from a source whose name I will not reveal, says that actually Alan could be the one taking everything. In fact, Alan today was called the Magpie because of the magpie's tendency to steal silver, shiny objects and take it to his nest. So listen, Alan is not without doubt cast on his name.
Now, really, I am going to have to wrestle the camera away from this guy because I could be wrong here, but I don't think you guys need to hear any more of this.
Very interesting thing, and you're gonna have to closely follow this one. You know, we've got Van Gate and we've got Glove Gate. So, but you leave this with me. I'm on this. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Thank goodness. Maybe do it in your own time, though. Week 3, it's been both a good week and a bad week. On the back, we've had a bit of bad news, as you'll have seen in the video. But on the front, we've had an amazing week. We've managed to get the foundations down. We've got the concrete poured in, which is very exciting. Building inspector was very happy. We're starting to actually build the house now. We're starting to get the blocks up, which is so exciting. So, you've seen the foundations go in, followed by a couple of courses of block work. The next step is the damp-proof course, or DPC. The membrane forms a barrier inside the wall to stop moisture rising into the house. Underneath it are blue engineering bricks, or blues as the builders call them, which are much denser than normal bricks, making them ideal for exposed parts of the building. What you see right here is the back of the garage. Now this is going to be knocked down on Monday, but the thing we're going to replace it with is quite crazy. Not only are we extending it 2 stories, so it's going to be at the same height as the back bit here, it's also going to come all the way out, so over this gym. But this is where it gets truly grand designs. In order to do this, the ground here isn't strong enough to support that, according to my structural engineer. So we're going to have to put a cantilever structure in. So the back of this side extension is going to be floating. So this is a chunk out my budget, but I think it's going to be worth it to make the side extension possible. We're going to take down this garage. Now, that is incredibly exciting, apart from one thing. Up here, I've just noticed this new cracking forming on the back bit of the house, and that is the part of the house that we're keeping. So what happens when you remove that? Does the house pull out more? Listen, I'm not a builder. That's very nerve-wracking, but we have no other choice. So I guess we'll see on Monday if the whole house is going to fall down.
So, will my whole house fall down when we take the garage down? Will we actually be able to build a floating side extension?
And then the stealing. Don't forget about the stealing.
And will we find out who's been stealing all the tools? Join us next week to find out.